Kicks with Willie. I want to talk about the expiring Nike contract that just took place with Kobe Bryant and Nike, and what are some of the after effects from that. What's going to happen with Kobe Bryant, his name, his estate, essentially. It's been over a year since Kobe Bryant's passing, and the expiring Nike contract, in a way, not to sound too hyperbolic, feels like you're losing him in another way, essentially, because the only way to honor Kobe Bryant, truly in my mind, is to have his sneakers, his retros, or protros as he would call them, prototype and retro. One of those things I was extremely worried about Kobe Bryant's passing, the cultural impact that had on basketball. And then also thinking about, hey, is Nike going to continue with his sneakers? One thing I was pleasantly surprised was Nike took some time and then they reintroduced his protros, which I was exhilarated about, and I actually picked up 2 protros since Kobe Bryant's passing. It was the Bruce Lee 5s and the 5-ring Protro 5. Those right there are 2 extremely coveted pickups and have a special value, certainly. I mean, not just because they're a Kobe Bryant sneaker, but because of the cultural impact that Kobe Bryant had on basketball, and his sneakers are just great hoop sneakers. There's this quote from Vanessa Bryant that is extremely important that I think I definitely need to read. It says, Kobe Bryant's Nike contract expired on 4/13/21. Kobe and Nike have made some of the most beautiful basketball shoes of all time, worn and adored by fans and athletes in all sports across the globe. It seems fitting that more NBA players wear my husband's product than any other signature shoe. My hope will always be to allow Kobe fans to get and wear his products. I will continue to fight for that. Kobe's products sell out in seconds. That says everything. I was hoping to forge a lifelong partnership with Nike that reflects my husband's legacy. We will always give everything we can to honor Kobe and Gigi's legacies. That will never change. That quote right there from Vanessa Bryant leaves me hopeful that her and Nike will get some sort of deal worked out and everything will be a kumbaya type moment.
Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya.
And I saw it on social media. I was quite shocked because didn't hear anything leading up to it. It was just one of these things like, okay, here it is, the Nike contract with Kobe Bryant's expired, and now it's basically Kobe Bryant's name and his brand, so to speak, is a free agent now. And I know Kobe had talks of making a Mamba brand because apparently him and Nike was not doing too well. At the end of his career and post his retirement, he was not happy, him and his wife, with the way Nike was marketing his products. And to me, it was kind of bizarre. Once Kobe Bryant retired, Nike should have put out from the jump, started over and say, hey, we're releasing the Kobe 1, and every year from now, we're going to release the models in numerical order. I think there is a huge appetite and market for Kobe sneakers and products. I'd like to see his apparel line back. That Kobe shield, that insignia right there is just iconic. Basically, Kobe Bryant's name and brand is up for sale. The only thing is that logo, Nike would not allow that to be put on another model or brand of shoe. And quite frankly, Nike and Kobe are meant to be together. When you think of Nike, when you think of Kobe Bryant, you think of his Nike signature shoes. He was with Adidas only for a short amount of time, and the only Adidas shoe worth mentioning that he had was the Crazy 8 Kobe. That was the only one that I thought was really good. The other ones were kind of frightening. Something that I think could be a beacon of hope is NBA players, the PEs that you've been seeing this season of Kobe in the 4s, the 5s, and the 6s. It's just incredible how many Hoopers are wearing them. I'm thinking the NBA players might have some sort of petition, the ones that are under Nike contracts thing, because it's just one of those things where the whole Mamba brand idea after Kobe's passing, that ship has now sailed. Unless you have Kobe wearing the product and advertising it, I just don't see there being a huge market for it, which is why Nike and Vanessa Bryant just need to come together and meet halfway and just get this thing done. Kobe, for the hoop culture, was just incredible, and his signature sneakers are just some of the best hoop sneakers, and they're extremely comfortable. It's just one of these things I am just praying happens. Because to me, it's really unsettling, the idea that you might not get any more Kobe Bryant signature sneakers anymore. That's a very unsettling and uncomfortable thought. You look at the secondhand markets, all of the sneakers that he has are just asking prices now are basically double. it's just going to be insane. There's just going to be too much of a demand with the current supply out there. Your wallet and your bank account are certainly going to be a lot lighter if you're trying to get a Kobe Bryant signature sneaker. It was a very somber moment when I saw on the 13th that his Nike contract had expired, which means Nike cannot produce and sell any more of his products at this current time. So I am just, like I said, I am just really praying and hoping that a deal between Kobe's family and Nike gets worked out and this can all be resolved. One thing that I think was shocking was, unlike LeBron, who has a lifetime Nike contract, Kobe did not. One thing I think that's important to point out is that LeBron has been a lifetime Nike signature athlete, whereas Kobe wasn't. But I mean, Kobe did so much. He won multiple championships under Nike's brand. I definitely think he should have had a lifetime contract, and I'm sure Nike at this given time is wishing they had given him a lifetime contract. And I'm just really hoping that the relationship did not sour enough and that the bridge did not get burned enough to where you cannot rectify this relationship between the Bryants and Nike. It honestly, if a deal does get done between Nike and Kobe Bryant's family, that it's going to be almost a champagne popping type moment.
Who wants champagne?
For me, someone that just loves basketball and loves sneaker culture, it would be a euphoric moment. For more than a year now, there's not been too much to celebrate, globally, no less in the country. So losing Kobe for the basketball world and the hoop community, that was an extremely tough loss. And now his Nike contract expiring, it just is one of those things where it's just adding insult to injury and feels like it's piling on.
That is one big pile of shit.
So I think the hoop and sneaker community could really use some good news, and I'm thinking I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to think a deal does get done between the Bryants and Nike, and everybody's just going to be euphoric and ecstatic about that, because you could just totally, if you're Nike, if you just play your cards right, you could totally relaunch your sneaker lines, beginning with the first model and working your way all the way up. I've been tagging Nike basketball on Instagram on the sneaker Instagram pages. Whenever I see a hot Kobe P, I'm like, at Nike basketball, when are you going to bring Kobe Protros on Nike by You, Nike ID? And I did not know that the Kobe contract was expired. Maybe if they had a lifetime contract, we could get some Protros up on Nike by You. Because I'm telling you right now, if you put any model of his up on Nike by You, Nike ID, it would just crash the website and be sold out in seconds.
Who's number 46,853?
I mean, there's not enough supply to meet the demand, that's for sure. Nike could just make tons of money. And look, nobody who's in their right mind is going to say, hey, that's bad taste, you're trying to profit off a man's death. As long as Nike does not price gouge, which they didn't with the Protros they released post Kobe's death, you're fine. As long as you don't do that and you don't fuck the loyal customer over like myself.
Don't fuck me.
And Kobe Bryant and basketball fans, you'll be fine. I think you honor the great Kobe Bryant by bringing his product back. I'm just hoping, like I said, that there is just some salvageability in the relationship between the Bryants and Nike, and just wishing for the best. What do you think about the whole Kobe Bryant Nike expiring contract? Feel free to leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below, as well as that notification bell, so that way you are notified about the next Picks with Wooly episode. I'm Ryan Wooly signing off saying thank you and hasta la vista, baby.